I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, February the 17th, 2016. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu welcomed remarks made today by visiting British Cabinet Minister Matthew Hancock against BDS, boycott, divestment and sanctions efforts in the UK. Hancock, who is visiting Israel this week with a delegation from the British House of Lords, met with Netanyahu today, where he announced a new guidance of the British government aimed at discouraging anti-Israel boycott activity. The new proposed law would penalize public bodies that discriminate against Israeli suppliers.
That we are publishing new guidance for public authorities in the UK that makes clear that discriminating against members of the WTO, including Israel, is wrong, and it is illegal, and it must stop. And we do this because we believe in an open and free trade, and we believe that discrimination is not appropriate and should be stood up to.
A statement from the British cabinet said such boycotts undermine good community relations, poison debate, and fuel anti-Semitism. Netanyahu thanked the visiting minister. He said, "I want to commend the British government for refusing to discriminate against Israel and Israelis, and I commend you for standing up for the one and only true democracy in the Middle East." President of the European Jewish Congress, Moshe Kantor, praised the new guidance as well, which he said showed that the UK was committed to outlawing, quote, attempts to boycott Israel in word as well as in deed. And the City Council of Paris adopted two non-binding resolutions also aimed at fighting anti-Israel boycotts. According to the French-language Muslim news website safirnews.com, the resolutions state that the City of Paris, quote, opposes publicly all attempts to isolate Israel from the collective of nations, and also reaffirms the city's commitment to finding a peaceful solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Ynet reports that U.S. Vice President Joe Biden will visit Israel next month. According to the report, Biden is set to arrive on March the 7th for a two-day visit aimed at reaching an agreement ahead of the signing of the Defense Memorandum of Understanding between the U.S. and Israel. The Jerusalem Post reports that Prime Minister Netanyahu is planning a visit this summer to Uganda and Kenya to mark 40 years since the raid on Entebbe, the legendary rescue mission of July the 4th, 1976, in which Netanyahu's brother and the mission's leader, Jonathan, was killed. Kenyan President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta arrives for a visit in Israel next week, and Netanyahu's reportedly planned trip is said to be among the issues the two will discuss. This would be the first visit by an Israeli prime minister to sub-Saharan Africa since 1966, when then Prime Minister Levi Eshkol visited 6 African countries. Netanyahu did visit Uganda in 2005 to dedicate a plaque in his brother's memory at the Entebbe airport, but he was not prime minister at the time. April the 13th will mark 2 years since the shooting deaths at 2 Jewish sites in Overland Park, Kansas, by white supremacist Frazier Glenn Miller, who murdered 14-year-old Reed Underwood and his grandfather, 69-year-old William Corcoran, outside the Jewish Community Center of Greater Kansas City, and a short time later murdered 53-year-old Terry Lamano outside the Village Shalom assisted living facility. To honor their memories, a sculpture is being constructed that will stand at the JCC in their honor. It will be unveiled in April to mark the anniversary. This past November, Miller was sentenced to death for the killings. He has said that he went to the Jewish sites to kill Jews, though none of the victims were in fact Jewish. The Latin American branch of the World Jewish Congress will present the Shalom Prize to the president of Paraguay, Horation. The Shalom Prize was established to recognize individuals or organizations who seek peace. Cartes will be honored for his efforts in promoting coexistence at a ceremony in Buenos Aires on March the 16th, part of the World Jewish Congress Plenary Assembly meeting in the city next month. The Israel Antiquities Authority announced today that archaeologists have found remains of an ancient settlement in Jerusalem dating back approximately 7,000 years. The head of the IAA's prehistory branch, Dr. Omri Barzilai, said the findings are the oldest proof of human settlement in the Jerusalem area. The discovery was unearthed during excavations the IAA was conducting before the construction of a new road in the Shoafat neighborhood in northeastern Jerusalem. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, February the 17th. At 7:40, Canada's former Foreign Minister John Baird describes how he helped to influence Canada's pro-Israel stand from the 2015 Jewish Federation of North America's General Assembly. At 8 tonight, the president of the Union for Reform Judaism, Rabbi Rick Jacobs, calls for all expressions of tikkun olam to continue the work of ensuring a thriving, enduring Jewish people and Jewish future in his address to the 2015 URJ biennial in Orlando. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with director of the Yamin Ord Youth Village in Israel, Chaim Perry, on the Chaim, and at 10, the Wall Street Journal's Bret Stephens speaks at the 2015 American Jewish Committee's Women's Leadership Luncheon honoring women of courage. And coming up right after this newscast tonight, Thinking Out Loud with Micah Halpern at 6:30. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, February the 17th, 2016. I'm Teisha Bader.